There we are, the weekly fix live, the live stream. We're going to be bringing weekly. I'm just excited, Gary. What do you think about what we're about to do, man?
I'm super excited. I get excited about everything, as people in our community know. I'm easily excitable, but this is going to be fun. We've done a couple of these as far as special live events, but to actually now have a scheduled weekly show that we're going to do every week. We're going to talk about some cool subjects. We're going to have some awesome guests on. It's going to be fun, man. It's like almost our own little Tonight Show, right? Just hanging out and having a conversation, and definitely going to be talking to some amazing community members. So super excited about it.
Yeah, dude. I honestly, when we started talking about it earlier, I was thinking about it early on. It was like, okay, and we'll have somebody come in, and we can get with somebody who does music, and then we could bring in, somebody who's just making waves, doing really cool stuff in Web3. And then I was like, wait, the format. Like, I really loved watching like SNL or the Tonight Show, where somebody comes in, they perform, they sit down, you get to hear from the artist, then they talk to somebody else, the artist is talking to that person. It's just this whole vibe. So that's what I hope to bring. But before we really get into even talking about the news and what's been happening in the space, me and you were both talking, Gary, a little while ago about, we just want to talk about why we're doing this and kind of what we're aiming to achieve, and the kind of people that we want to support and prop up. So what do you have to say about that? Like, what do you hope to achieve by bringing on these different people from the space and giving them a platform?
Yeah, so that's actually really cool. Like you said, when we talked about this, we talked about format, but I think what's even more important than format is what this platform is going to hopefully provide to the community. The show is sponsored by Bulls and Apes, but it's not a Bulls and Apes project show. It is a show that we want to highlight people in the community. We want to highlight, projects in the community. We want to highlight people that are doing amazing things in the community. And a big part of that is giving back to those that helped us get here. As a project, we're only 8 weeks old. And up until the point that we minted, we had a lot of things going. We got together with some amazing community members. We did some awesome spaces together. And like any other company, we're going through growing pains. We're growing fast. Things are happening. We're developing a lot of great tools for our project, utilities, things that we're doing with just so many different things. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that we're highlighting those people in the community, especially those that helped us get here. I think that's important.
Totally.
I think it's important. Yeah, it's important to reach back to those people and say, hey, come on along with us. We're not just launching and forgetting about where we came from. Where we came from is part of what we're building to be. And so I'm excited to reach back out in the community, get new people on that we haven't talked to, of course. But definitely, I want to reconnect with a lot of those people in the community that helped us get here. A lot of those projects that helped us get here. We got together with a lot of projects, said, hey, we want to collab with you. Well, this is what we're doing. That's why we're doing this show, is part of our collaboration. We need to get our feet underneath us. We need to get our project rolling. We had a lot of things that we were doing. And now that things are happening, we're finally getting the time to take a step back and say, okay, now it's time to really get back in with the community, get back in with those collaborations, start reaching back out and doing some fun stuff. And I'm so excited about this platform for that. It's going to be great. And nobody's doing this platform. I mean, everybody's doing amazing spaces. The spaces are awesome. I don't want to take anything away from them. But to do something like this is cool. Yep. And I'm excited for this.
Yeah, and I love the fact too that we even soft launched into this kind of creeper. Like, we put some little teasers out, but the reality is this is going to be valuable after this. This is going to be valuable when we're pointing back to different little clips from this, or when somebody comes in and they just say something hilarious, or we have an amazing performance, or whatever it is. Like, that content itself gets to live on and keep serving those people that we want to be here for. So I personally look at this, and I'm going to be chopping up a lot of this content later. It's an opportunity for somebody to come in, tell us what they're doing, us put some steam behind it, add some extra eyeballs to it, and then just make that shareable, so that if maybe you weren't in the room in a Twitter space when they were talking about their project, or when they said something really heartfelt, after that room goes away, that space goes away, like, that moment is gone. It just just turns to vapor. And me as a content creator, it hurts my soul, bro. So the opportunity to do this on YouTube and just, it's going to live forever. You know what I mean? We're just going to be sharing this with everyone, and we get to do it live. So we got Nans in that's saying, what's up? We got Todd, we got William. So as people are rolling through here, I'd love for you guys to comment and engage with us as we're going through the show, because we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. I'm going to bring up some news articles, some stuff that's happened in the last couple of weeks, but the reality is this is not going to be a show about bulls and apes. It's going to be about our community, the people that are doing cool things, and our friends. Like, what better way to get together with your friends than to promote them, to help them achieve their goals, and it's just say thanks for helping us get to where we're at now. And sure, we could stay busy and not turn around and make it about everybody else, but like, that's not the look we want. We want to, promote everybody that's helped us get here and the people that we're going to be doing stuff with in the future. So
I think that's important. When we came to this space, as a company coming into this space and saying, hey, we want to do something here, and we had a lot of ideas for what we want to do in this space, the changes we want to make, the impact we want to make. But we couldn't do it by ourselves. We had to ask for help. We had to look for those people to help support us. But a big part of it, like you said, is not only helping to bring those people back forward and thank them by utilizing this platform, but also paying it forward. We wouldn't be good stewards of this space. We wouldn't be doing this space justice if we didn't then take this platform that we've now created, the project that we have, and saying, okay, let's go out and find that new project or that new person that's coming into this space where we were 8 months ago, and saying, we want to help you. We want to provide a platform to come talk about what you're doing. Of course, we're going to be doing a little bit of vetting for those projects and those people, because we have standards that we've set for ourselves. We've set the bar pretty high for ourselves. And we want to make sure anybody we're coming on, that's going to be coming on the show, we're going to be able to say, hey, you know what, we like this project, we like these people, we believe in what they're doing, we want to support what they're doing, because I think it's important that as a project, we also help to police the space. There's been a lot of scams, a lot of bad stuff happening lately with wallets getting emptied. And so it's important for projects like us to say, you know what, we're going to elevate and step ourselves up here, but we're also going to hold people coming on to that same standard. So I'm excited about that as well, because we've been needing that in the space, right? I mean, shoot, there's so much going on. Where do you turn? Who do you listen to? What projects do you get into? What do you want to start looking at? And I'm stoked that we're going to be able to have this platform to hopefully shed a little light in our corner over here of some stuff that.
And we could geek out on some silly stuff too, because like we're both into Star Wars, we're both into lots of stuff, and like we like to smile, we like to have a good time. It's not all business. It's not, like some of the coolest parts about the in real life events is just how much silliness and how much fun you get to have with people. So we have made a lot of friends. Like, I want to shout out a bunch of the people, and I'm sure you've got plenty too, but we've got Loudmouth and D-Dish and the Lazy Lions and the Lazy Hats that were just a huge part. Fitty and Apocalyptic Apes were like some of the first people that their community came in, and we still have a bunch of apes. We have a bunch of Lazy Lions, the Blue Chimps that just did amazing for us. Friends like is going to join us later. LUVELLI, he's he's somebody that came into mega spaces, and people that helped us make those mega spaces happen. Like, those are just genuinely fun, cool people to hang out with. Right. So we get to do that here. And
we've hung out with them. I mean, we went to New York and hung out with all these guys. And it's like old friends, you've grown up with them. I've grown up with them in this space. I mean, I was new to this space. They welcomed me and said, hey, Gary, come on in, let's go, and I love jumping into a room on spaces, and they invite me up to let me talk. And it's like, okay, how can we return that favor? How can I return that favor? And being able to be a co-host with you on this now new live show is awesome, because it's going to give me the opportunity now to return that favor. So all those people that you mentioned, I'm anxious to have them on. I want to have them on and have them come talk to us about what they're doing. Everybody's moving and shaking in this space. Just because they've done one project doesn't mean that they're not doing something else. They're going on to other projects, they're doing other things, they're connecting with other people. It's a network, and that's what we want to do here. Is it's all about networking and about elevating those people that have touched us. So I'm excited, man. This is going to be fun, and it's a once a week, and we're going to dive in and have a blast. This is going to be cool. It's going to be really cool.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna swap over to the news section. Some of the stuff that's happened. And I would love to hear your thoughts on it, Gary, because there's some crazy stuff, but there's a couple that we just looked into literally just a little while ago. Part of the talking about the safety of all this stuff is one aspect of it, but then also just how hard it is to come into this space. We've seen it with celebrities, we've seen it with big Web 2 companies, but I had John does our editing for Bulls and Apes, and he brought up a couple articles for me. He said, this one right here says that Gamestop's NFT Marketplace they just had the worst revenue day since opening. What do you think about that? Like people trying to come into the space and thinking that they're going to use a big brand name and then just nothing.
It's hard, you know. I mean, this space, and anybody that's been in the space for a while understands that, you know, those of us that have been here for a while, we call ourselves degens, and it's hard. I mean, we know this because I come from a corporate background, you know, owning a business, and the Bulls and Apes has some strong corporate background. It's hard for this space to accept anybody from the corporate world. And if Gamestop thought they were going to come in as a corporate structure and entity, roll in here and say, hey, look, we're here now, everybody can come look at us and join us, and we're going to do it, they are sadly mistaken. It's hard to get acceptance in this space, and you have to put your time in, man. And you've got to grind. You've got to do what all the other.
You better have good friends. You better have fun friends that have audiences and communities that they've built up too.
You have to. Sure. You have to have good friends, and you have to be accessible. So, you know, here you got GameStop coming in. Who are they putting as their face forward? You know, is it, you know, somebody that's just I don't know, community connection person or whatever the title they're going to give, and there's no connection to any kind of elevated management or corporate structure? This space is going to look at that with a kind of a raised eyebrow. I mean, same things that we've encountered ourselves. It's hard, and deservedly so. I mean, this space is very protective of their own. You know, this is a big family here in the Web3 space, especially in NFTs. And you don't want to cross paths with somebody in a negative way here, or do something that's not good, because that bad word or bad name will follow you to forever in this space. I mean, you can't get away from it.
Dude,
so
that's why so many celebrities are freaked out. I'm reading a list right here, says Matt Damon. He, he got the backlash for doing the crypto commercial or whatever. Right. And it's when Bitcoin was worth twice as much.
Yeah.
And think about that. Like, we make jokes about it in the space, being like, yeah, if you were the one that told your family at Thanksgiving, hey, go all in, and then they just lost their ass because right after you tell them ape into this thing, then things get halved. Like, that's pretty savage.
It's hard. It's
another
hard.
One is
I want to make a point to that though, because it's something that's important, and that just to make a point about NFTs and crypto in general. This is such a volatile space. It's going to go down. You're going to get drops of 75, 85%. It's in the game. It's expected. And so going back to community, that's why a strong community is so important, because people getting into this thing new thinking, oh, I'm going to buy this cryptocurrency or this NFT, and I'm going to watch it go 10x, 100x. I'm going to make my money and be happy. Well, then all of a sudden we get into a bear market or a crypto winter or NFT winter or whatever you're talking about now. That is scary as heck. And that's where the diamond handing and being able to reach out to those community members and friends to reassure you, are you in the right place? Yes, you're in the right place. You're just going to have to weather the storm and trust us. It cycles, and we'll be back on the way up. But that community is why this space is so important, because you're not going to get that, you know, in some traditional investment where all of a sudden something goes down, you're not going to be able to call up your buddy or get on a space and say, oh my God, what's happening? And they're going to be like, it's okay, man. Don't worry about it. We're here for you.
Right.
You're not going to find that other places. You know?
Right. Yeah. And it's kind of it's a completely different thing too, because there is this vibe and this whole community aspect and all of that. Like, it's not that way when you go buy a stock. There's not, I mean, I'm sure there are groups of people that, you know, they compare notes and stuff like that, but it's definitely not the same where like you want everybody to win. The fact, like, if everybody in stocks had a name that said something around like, we're all gonna win with stocks, like, that's not a thing. No. You know what I mean? So like, we got WAGMI, and controversial as it may be, I think that's definitely something to differentiate the space between others. But here's another one. This is and you know, on the topic of aligning yourself with the wrong stuff. So you could align yourself with the right people. So like, we're aligned with Violetta and LUVELLI and our friends that are just doing amazing things in the space and support what they're doing for their communities and want to see them win, right?
Right.
But then you've got big people that walk into the space and they're just gonna automatically have some almost like credibility until proven to not have any credibility. Right. And so one of the people in the hot seat right now is Mike Tyson, right? So he's got it's saying that his NFTs have plunged more than 90% since he introduced this collection. Here's the thing, whether that's his fault, whether it's Matt Damon's fault whatsoever, a lot of people just lost. You know what I mean? A lot of collections just hit the floor. All the derivatives of the goblins, all that stuff, like everything is hit the bottom, right? But that gets attached to you. Yeah,
right?
but and then there's other things that are just popping. People are building and doing cool stuff. So, but not Mike Tyson. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like, and not Matt Damon. They're not
yeah,
actually building stuff, but they did use their credibility and like, unfortunately, just bad
yeah.
timing. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and that's the bad part about this space is sometimes it's all about timing, especially when we're talking about onboarding new people, because all you need is to have somebody like that come in and it fall flat, it dive, and then that just gives ammunition to all the naysayers out there saying, "See, I told you what the NFTs do. They're nothing." It's because they don't understand the space. They don't understand the volatility here. But with big downturn, there's also the opportunity for big upside, right? So you have to be willing to take the down with the up. And this is all about holding. This is all about finding that community, finding that project, getting in with that project and community, understanding what it offers beyond just a great NFT or PFP, which I don't want to take that away. There are some great PFPs out there, NFTs, but I think communities are starting to realize, you know what, we need to stand out a little bit and we're going to need to do something a little bit more. And you're starting to see that now. And those are the communities and projects that are going to rise to the top, that are going to really outshine the others that are kind of just sitting back in their laurels thinking, oh, you know what, I got a great picture and I was at an XETH before, I'll be there. And then all of a sudden they're realizing, oh, maybe I'm not there anymore. So you've got to be willing to pivot in this space. I've learned that just being in here a few months. Pivot, move, adjust, sway, whatever words you want to use. Be fluid, be liquid. Can't be rigid. Definitely not by any stretch.
I know. Well, and the other thing too is like, if you do have an existing community that's already established and already doing cool things, I feel like they're the right vehicle for other big brands to come and get involved with. Not the big brand stick their nose into this and be like, hey, this is what we're doing, surprise. So I'm actually very curious about the whole Tiffany and cyber, like the whole cyberpunk, the necklace, like what all of that stuff is actually doing. What do you think about that?
Cool. It's cool. So yeah, so I saw that article, and so Tiffany, apparently one of their CEOs or one of their C-level executives is a Cyberpunks holder. Cyberpunks being around since 2017 was pretty much the first NFT to really establish themselves and to be a brand. And being a holder, he decided to make a necklace representing his Cyberpunk NFT. Well, he brought that, showed it, and got so much interest over it that Tiffany is now calling it their NF Tiffany. So they're
NFTIFF, NFTIFF,
NFTIFF. And what they're doing is they're selling 250 spaces, or I guess pre-contracts. It's an NFT in itself that is then exchangeable. And this is if you have a Cyberpunk, it's for Cyberpunks only. Then exchangeable to have a custom-made Tiffany necklace made with your Cyberpunk, and it's valued about $51,000. So I think that's amazing. And what I think is really cool is in the article, this executive talks about the fact that they're going to leave their option open for other collections. So you're seeing in real life now companies, corporations, but they're doing it the right way. You know, we talked about GameStop coming in and doing their thing and saying they're going to come in and do this thing, and it got shot down, right? Here you have Tiffany with an executive that is in the NFT art space already and understands the space and is looking at it going, I'm just going to bring a small utility to this and bring it to the community. It took off, and now he's engaging with the community, expanding it. And that's the right direction. He's already connected with a well-established community in the NFT space, is bringing this real world necklace, this jewelry company into the space via the punks, and is going to create something awesome. So that is really cool to see those two different dynamics, how you had, GameStop on one hand, and now you got Tiffany in the other.
Right.
And they're
so
approaching
different.
the space differently. And you're seeing the success already. Tiffany, I think they already said in the article that they have most of these, or a large portion of these already sold. So I'm going to watch a little bit and see, but it's pretty cool. I pulled up the picture. It's pretty sick, man. The little diamonds and stones in it.
Oh, we got it. Next week we'll be all set up, so we'll have some like maybe a little video or some announcements and stuff that we'll roll through here. But what I want to do right now, because I think we're about 20 minutes in on episode 1 of the weekly fix. So the beautiful thing is that we're going to get to listen to V play right now. And This isn't just in the space. I see her beautiful face down there. She's kind of like blurred out because I haven't brought her up on stage yet. But when I do, I'm gonna make sure that she's the focus of the live stream right now, and we're gonna get to watch her play, not just listen. So I got to see that in New York, which was amazing. But I think without further ado, unless there's any reason that we should wait, we got V ready to go.
This is what we're all about, right? I mean, this is what we're all about, being able to not just hear it, but see her as well. So I'm excited. Let's do this.
All right. V, how are you? I'm going to pass it off to you, and then we're going to chat after.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
So good to be here. I'm going to go straight into a song, if that's okay. This one's called Moonshot. I hope you like it. I would cross the universe and circle around the sun to find that little part of my heart I've never known. And I would give up everything. I would defy gravity, 'cause something's out there telling me I am not alone. And I would travel far and wide to reach my destination, fly among the stardust, realigning constellations. So fire up my rocket ship, I'm ready to risk it all. 'Cause you and me are meant to be the moonshot of the moon. Watching out the window as the planets pass me by, sending out a signal, waiting your reply. I'm not afraid of loneliness, but you're the only thing I miss. So if you're there in the abyss, send me back a sign. I will travel far and wide to reach my destination, fly among the stardust, realigning constellations. So fire up my rocket ship, I'm ready to risk it all. 'Cause you and me are meant to be the moonshot of the moon. I would travel far and wide to reach my destination, fly among the stardust, 'cause I know that you'll be waiting. So fire up my rocket ship, I'm ready to risk it all. 'Cause you and me are meant to be the moonshot. Yeah, you and me are meant to be the moonshot. Yeah, you and me just might be the moonshot of the moon. Ooh.
Yay! I'm so lucky. We have the coolest friends.
Oh my
God. You're
God.
so good.
I wish you guys could see. I have actual goosebumps everywhere. That was amazing. For our first show, to have you on here, Violetta, thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough. It's absolutely amazing. You know, I didn't get a chance to see you in New York. I've been on Space with you. I've listened to you. You've been on our Space before, but to actually see you in person, to perform, is just another whole level. It's you're amazing already, but to just watch you perform, to see you perform, thank you. That was a treat.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here on the first episode. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're the lucky guys. Me and Gary could just sit and talk and goof around all day, but not every day we get to have awesome friends come and perform and get to give everybody else this experience. Like, you're getting roses. Look at them. They're throwing them. Let's see some more roses, fam. If you love Violetta. I was rolling through it. Yeah, that was cool, just sitting there and playing it all out. So thank you. Well, how about this? Like, we already know you're awesome. We know that people think you're awesome. How's the journey been? Like, we talked months ago, but how has it been since we sat down when I told you that we were going to record but didn't say it was going to be video? You just showed up.
It was still 1 a.m. like now. So.
Nice. But what's changed? Like, how's it been? You did so many different things since then, but I'd just love to hear a little bit about the journey, and we'll talk about what you're up to right now.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, how long ago was that? Like 4 months ago or something?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
My life has changed because of Web3 in that time. So, you know. Like,
yeah, I can imagine. I mean, my life, yeah, it was flipped. Like, I don't even know, like a ship through a storm in the night that just like goes upside down, and like it's just incredible what happened. I mean, I mentioned it to you last time. I was about to just quit like professional music because I just couldn't make it work. It just didn't. I couldn't pay my bills in the end, you know, and
Yep.
I know I'm still young, but I was like approaching 27, you know, and you're like, people die at 27 and they're legends, you know, like I can't even pay my bills almost. I mean, obviously the pandemic was a really hard thing. You know, I was always able to be a professional musician, and then pandemic hit, and it was just destruction. But so my life completely changed because of that. And, you know, not only have I found, you know, an incredible community without whom I wouldn't be anything. But I feel that passion, that fire in me that is revived. Like, I didn't think that I loved music that much anymore when I couldn't really do it, when I was so limited. But now, you know, not only was I able to like survive from it and build this community, but the creative freedom actually, like, these are two of the biggest things. I found passion for music again. Like, I truly know again that this is my only love. And today I went to the studio and spoke to my co-writer who I've been writing with for 5 years. I wrote Moonshot and all the other songs with. And we're planning the next collection, the next album. And it's the first time we don't have to comply with any rules. Wow. Because up until we recorded Moonshot thinking we want to get it into movies. We want to get it onto the radio, Spotify. So what do we need to get? What rules do we need to follow? And today we're like, there's no rules. Like, it's almost like too much freedom. We have That's to like, cool. We can literally do what we want. It's kind of scary, you know? You have that much freedom. You're like, okay, now it's up to us. Shit.
So Web3 has released, actually allowed you to be more creative in a way.
Yeah, even though a lot of people ask me, how do you find the time to be creative? Because I work 20 hours a day. Right. But the time that I get to be creative, it's like an explosion, and I can really be myself. And that's, I think, essential when you make music. Otherwise, you're going to hate it, you know, and your face is at the front, and your voice and your name, and you're going to hate. I would hate myself at one point if I wasn't doing exactly what I liked. So that's also why I didn't have that fire anymore, I guess. But now I found, you know, a bunch of people in the world that resonate exactly with what I'm singing. So it's a priceless.
They do, and they sing it along with you. Oh, I got to see that in New York and record whole room full of people singing with V while she's on stage.
I mean,
Her and Sammy are up there. Oh, I was like, this is messing me up. Like this is like a
That's
even
cool.
talking about it, I am like an iceberg. I'm not an emotional dude. So for that, I was like, whew, that's good, solid stuff. And not to mention that you mentioned you're working 20 hours a day. I can say that almost every time I see you in spaces somewhere, you're either performing or you're putting people on and you're leading a room and you're spearheading what's happening in Web3 music right now. And like, I don't think people realize that like young Violetta is basically like grandmothering it's gonna be like, oh yeah, she was the first one. Like she's doing big stuff.
Paving a path,
So
right?
young or not, pioneer for sure. I love it. It's good to see.
Yeah, it's I just found my lane, and I've been looking for it for so long and I didn't know where I was gonna find it, and I found it. And all I want is just to keep making these songs and for my supporters and holders to be happy, and that's the only thing I want. And I love seeing other musicians flourish as well, because I've seen like so many, coming and asking for things and asking for advice. And then I see them do things and it's like, this is a revolution. I mean, if I can help a little bit someone, I mean, yeah, of course, like, especially if they're part of my community, they are my holders. So yeah.
We'll talk about that. Like let us know, like, let's pivot to where you're at now. It's been an awesome thing watching your journey so far, but now you just have a bunch of holders, you have a bunch of supporters, and you're helping the next people in line. But aside from that, like you have more and more holders as time goes on, and people are going and buying. Like what are you up to now? Like, how can we help, and what would you love to see happen with your community, with your supporters, with the growth? Like, tell me your vision. What's going on now?
Well, I just want to keep making records. Like that's what I want. And I want to keep reaching more and more people. And I mean, I have a very strong vision and opinion on the world of music NFTs. And I can just sum it up really briefly, but I believe that no matter what happens, no matter the state of the market, no matter the stock market, no matter crypto, music is going to stay. Like, that's for sure. Yep. So, like, not financial advice. We always say that. Right. But if you want something certain, and something that touches you emotionally, I think music is going to be one of those things that will survive through the roller coaster of Web3, because it has that just emotional level to it that, even if you buy an NFTs and then the floor goes down and the volume, whatever, but you still bought something that speaks to you. So it's always going to have some kind of value, even if it's an emotional, value. Mm-hmm. So I just want to keep bringing that to the space. I want to bring that joy and that emotional engagement, that a lot of the times you don't have in the space. But that's what music is, and I want to get people to help musicians be themselves and help musicians help people through their music. Because what I've noticed is a lot of people don't know about a lot of music because it's filtered through an algorithm. So they don't actually get to choose what they pay for. Spotify, they don't know, right? Sure. Whereas here, you guys can choose exactly who to invest in, And I mean, of course, I encourage people to jump on board at the start, because I don't plan to stop. As long as I live, I'm going to make records. As long as I can make records, I'll make music NFTs. So obviously, my Genesis holders are going to be the OG believers, and I'm going to remember that forever. So yeah.
So so if somebody's watching and they want to find you, where do they find you? Where are they going to find you?
Yeah, well, I'm on Twitter all the time.
Okay. Well, we know that, right? And now on YouTube, hopefully.
And now on YouTube, yeah. Yes. But my NFTs are on Opensea. The collection is called Moonshot. It's sold out. But our floor is it's really good right now, but it's still cheaper than other products. We're at 0.11. We started from 0.05, and we've been stable at 0.11 for about a month now, which is really good. But it's still a good entry point, and that's kind of where you can buy those NFTs. If you want some special ones, of course, with different utilities and rarities, you can get some rare ones like rubies, silvers, and golds, and unlock different tiers of utility and have more value, of course. But yeah, if anyone's interested, of course, they can check out my Discord and Moonshot by Violetta Zironi on Opensea, and yeah, otherwise my Twitter account.
Yeah, definitely. We got to be able to find you, so that's important, and thank you so much. Awesome.
Well, and we'll chop all this up. Like we'll take little pieces of this and stick it on Instagram and TikTok and everything else. And yeah, I mean, I think that's like, we want to keep doing this. We want to keep. Before you joined, me and Gary were chopping it up, talking about, we just want to say thanks to our friends that helped. You were on mega spaces with us, and and you were supporting the project when we were doing our thing, and now it's like, we just want to see people go and support you and do all that. So not only are we calling, the call to action for this live video right now is like, go, like, don't be crazy. Go, like, check out what V's got. She's got a bunch of stuff on Opensea. She's got an awesome community. Like, get involved, because people being at the ground level right now is not going to be this way. I saw it happen on Clubhouse. I saw people come into the space. They were accessible. They were talking about amazing things. They were sharing the secrets. They were being open and helping. And then as time went on and that space kind of got a little bit watered down by more and more people just flooding in, those people dipped. They were gone. And I can't imagine, like, I'm not saying that Violetta is just going to vanish all of a sudden because she's a big deal, because she's too dope for,
but she's going to
just
get too
piecing
busy,
out on
right?
everybody. But she will be busy. And like, now's an interesting time. So I think that's a solid segue. Speaking about Clubhouse, we got my friend LUVELLI here. I'm going to bring him up right now. And I'm really curious what he thinks about these golden moments. So LUVELLI, my guy, are you here? Is your mic working? It doesn't sound like it is.
It does now, right?
Yeah, boy, let's go.
LUVELLI, how you doing, sir?
What's going on?
Nothing. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, how you doing? So we're live right now?
We are live. We're live on YouTube.
We're on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, we're on YouTube and Facebook, and then we're gonna chop all this stuff up, and it's gonna go live all over the internet and little shorts and whatnot. But yeah, you missed V playing at the beginning, but we will be blessed with another song.
What's up?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, I had a family emergency I had to deal with.
Wow, and you still showed up. Thanks for hopping in, man. Yeah. So what do you think about, like, the moment right now? I was just talking about Clubhouse in those super early days, like the late 2020, early January. Like, days were crazy. They very much changed quickly. But, like, what do you think about the space right now and how things are and how accessible different people are?
Well, they're two different questions, kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
One was about this Clubhouse in the beginning, and then now we've kind of converted everything to Twitter Spaces. And the beginning of Clubhouse was crazy. I mean, everybody was in the pandemic, and it was just a wild time for everyone. And you saw an influx of people wanting to know about NFTs, and they had the time to do it because they were sitting at home. And now it's a different thing. People are out moving around, and it's some people kind of moved out of the situation, and some people made a lot of money, and then they just skirted. Right. And they didn't kind of give back to the community. And so there's a lot of people around now that are friends of mine that I'm close to that are just keep, solid in the community, and they keep caring about other people and giving back. And that's something. And like,
that's you, bro. That's I see you constantly putting different people on. Tank, what were you talking about earlier with you're a holder for, what's the project name?
Bobby's Bears, man.
There you go.
That's now the Don't Care Bears,
Don't Care Bears. Okay, so yeah, I'm a holder, and it's funny. I get on my page, I look at it, and I see the flashing holding, and I cannot wait to see what they're going to look like. But
yeah, that's Krista's project.
Yeah, it's Krista's project. I know that you've been promoting it and stuff. So
yeah, Chris. Well, we haven't started really promoting it. We kind of had it as just like a little dinner item. Like a la carte, kind of just to let people in the community get involved. And what's crazy is that it's almost at a 1E floor. It's like a couple off from that, and it's crazy because when we start promoting them, we're going to open the minting up again, and we'll see what happens. but
Yeah,
it's, to help out people and help save somebody's house. And then nobody cared in the beginning, so they changed Krista changed them to Don't Care Bears.
I
And
love
now they're kind of gangstery, and I like them more than I did.
It's
They
cool.
were, but you never know if you're going to get a cute one or you're going to get a crazy one.
That's
so.
cool. Yeah, I'm,
Like-
I'm excited for that project, and yeah, I've had it for a while now. So I came in one of your spaces and listened to you. One of the things I appreciate about you and your spaces is very much helping the community. Very much putting the community forward, and really caring about what the community is doing, what the space is doing, and
I do.
Yeah, that's what you're all about,
I love
man.
it. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I don't promote my own stuff
No, I know you
because I
don't.
sell in the traditional space through art dealers and to private collectors. But there'll be a time for that. I have a very niche market, so but I like helping out artists, and it's fun. And and since I haven't been able to shoot street photography due to the pandemic, I'm not out on the streets like 12 hours a day, and I'm out there meeting people and hearing their stories, and it's just overwhelming and crazy and it's just so emotional. And this has kind of filled that void. So I get to hear other artists, which is a whole completely different thing than people that I met on the streets, right?
Right.
But I'm still hearing these amazing stories and finding people that just have overcome odds, and it's just amazing. And anything I can do to help, that's why we're there. Because I believe.
I feel like it's the same thing.
Giving is living.
You two seem like you have such a strong. Like I'm trying to do this. There, you two, Violetta and LUVELLI, both of you guys you're helping other artists, and you're awesome artists yourself. And you're both, and it's different. It's different verticals, right? It's completely different groups of people, but you're both doing something about it in a way where you can show up. People will show up just to listen to you, right? Like both of you, 100%.
Mostly wellness.
Vigos does it. LUVELLI does it, and you bring a different thing to the table, but you're using it to help the other people in that same space. So, I mean, that's why I'm always hanging out with both of you guys.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm in the rooms, definitely.
I appreciate you guys. What are you talking about? You guys bring a ton to the community. I mean, I first met you guys. I met Chris earlier, and then I met Tankman during the Bulls and Apes, which you're wearing right now.
Yeah. Even though the show is not. Yeah.
I've got Lux Luthor on my shirt right now. And but yeah, I mean, you get the Bulls and Apes, and that's where I met you guys, and it was just the marketing you guys did, and it was just a passion towards the project. I
appreciate that.
Catapulted it, and it was, it was crazy. I loved it.
And I'll tell you, a part of what you did, Chris and I, this is our first show, this is our first episode, our soft launch, but we're going to be doing this weekly. And a big part of what we talked about, it's something that we talked about, was elevating other projects, taking both of your leads.
Definitely.
This, even though I'm wearing my Bulls and Apes shirt, this is not a Bulls and Apes show. It's sponsored by Bulls and Apes. But we're here to talk about other projects. We're here to talk about artists. We're here to talk about people in the space. We're here to elevate the people in the space. Chris and I in the intro talked about how when we got in the project, we were outsiders coming into this space and didn't know anything. We reached out to people like you and D-Dish and Loudmouth and Fitty, so many people in the space that were already here. And they all helped us with our project. And it's now time for us to return that favor. And that's why a big part of why we're doing this show. And we want to do it on a different platform. Everybody's doing some amazing spaces, and that's a kind of a crowded field unless you've got a show like you're doing, LUVELLI. We all know who you are. We want to kind of carve out our little niche, and that's why we're going to do this YouTube and bring people like Violetta on to sing, and we will be able to see her face and see her perform, which is just a whole different feel. I mean, when you can almost feel like you're in the room, feeling it and seeing it and hearing it, it's just absolutely amazing.
And she's just literally constantly singing. I don't know how her voice continues to stay great.
At early hours of the morning, too. I don't know how she does. I'm in spaces sometimes like thinking,
she's a DJ, and that's how.
She came into my spaces when we were doing these crazy late night spaces.
Right.
And it was like, I don't know.
The birds were singing.
Birds were singing along with her. It was so late.
And LUVELLI's like, sing Moonshot, sing Moonshot. Like,
because I love that song. It's so sexy. It just is.
Great. So I know that, LUVELLI, I know you don't like to talk about yourself on your show, but part of bringing you on is we want to hear what you're doing. So I know you've got a lot of things. I know you have a very niche, but I know that you've got some stuff going on with the TV show you've talked about. You've got other things. Tell us about what you've got going on. I want to hear things that you're doing, because you never get to talk about yourself as much as I think you should.
Well, basically, we do have a lot going on. I mean, to bring it up quickly, a lot of things have been pushed back a little bit. Tiffany, which is on my team, she had a heart attack just recently. That was what she's dealing with right now at the hospital, which is why I was late.
Well,
that's something that's more important to me than anything. Okay.
For sure.
And then after that situation, the pandemic hit me like that. And when it hit like that, I was like, whoa, okay, I'm going out to places to shoot street photography, and I shoot candid, and I go to places a lot of people just won't go. And that's what I do. I've been doing it for 30 years. And so missing that, I had to fill that void. And it was meeting people, but it also had to do with me going through a vault of over 16 terabytes worth of material.
That's material.
Right. And so we worked with Krista and her team to go through a lot of it. We came out with 7 books for photography and 3 books on self-help. And so we're working on those to be published, as well as some things that we're doing for free for the community to be able to get involved. And we're going to make that Web3 as well. So we're working on that. And then the TV show that we're doing, which is a 10-episode show.
Very cool. So if somebody wants to find you and follow, I mean, I know they can follow you on Twitter. Where's the best places to get a hold of you? Where can they follow you? Got a
Snapchat. I'm popular on Snapchat. Yeah. But yeah, Twitter, Snapchat. I mean, I don't really do too many TikToks, but I'm going to. I plan on doing a lot more. I just want to incorporate my homies, and if one of them's down, I don't leave people behind. So, I kind of, it's just been focusing on helping other people as much as I can. Because if I focus on that, it's off my mind. It keeps that personal stuff off my mind. Giving is living. So.
For sure. No, I mean, you guys are always pouring into people and doing it as a team too, which is a cool thing. And it's, question for V. I've seen you guys do the same exact thing. You might not all be in the same house, but you've got people across the world that are coming together as artists that are like the band of musicians that are just supporting other musicians. So I don't know, what do you see happening with that, where musicians are helping musicians? You got LUVELLI that's helping other people in his space and out of his space, all over the place. But with the musicians specifically, is that is there anything formal that's ever happening amongst the artists, or is it just you guys all pitching in?
Formal, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just, I've seen it happen, that when you support other people, genuinely though, not because you want something in return, because that's going to come across at some point. It's going to come through. So if you genuinely want the best for them and you're not expecting anything in return, that's going to come back to you at some point. And I've noticed, I'll give you an example. That show you came to in New York, in Lower East Side, that was put up by Ray Isla, who's an incredible musician, singer, songwriter. And she's been in the space, and she opened Twitter one day randomly, and the algorithm fed her a space, and it was mine. And she came in. She didn't know about any of the Twitter spaces. She just saw that space, and she came into my space, saw singer-songwriters. And so she discovered this whole world. She was telling me the story today. This whole world of music and NFTs and people performing on spaces. And, of course we give her a platform, and we're like, when mint, when NFT, right? And she fell in love with the space. And one day she just hit me up on Twitter, said, I just booked us a venue in New York because I thought we should put together a show. All the musicians that you bring together on spaces, let's get together and get our holders over. The funny thing is she didn't even have her own NFTs. So she really didn't do it for herself. She did it for the entirety of the community.
That is cool.
you know.
That's
And
what's up.
she's like, I don't even have any holders, but I love this, and you guys do, and you supported me. So she booked the venue, paid for it, got guitars from Fender for us to use, and like the room was packed, you know, and it was the best night of my life. So it's like, that's already the wag me, you know, that's already, I don't know if it's formal, but it's like there's definitely a synergy there, you know.
Oh, yeah.
One day it's me, the next day is you, and it's really tangible. So, and she's got her first mint tomorrow, so I'm excited.
Oh, that's
let's
cool.
go.
Yeah,
well, let's give her a shout out. So do you know anything about the mint, where to find her?
Yeah, so I think her whitelist is full. It's a very small drop. I'm on the whitelist, thankfully. But her name is Isla, Isla. And she's a beautiful musician from Seattle, and she's got a few drops coming, one after the other, and then a bigger one, I hope, eventually. But her first one's tomorrow, Genesis. And I'm just so excited for her. She's been literally, she found me through the algorithm, and then she put up this beautiful night that I will never forget, where all my holders were singing along. So it's like she gave me the best gift ever, you know.
That's very
awesome. We'll link it up for sure. We'll put it below in the description, and then afterwards we'll use some little snippets of that to post it out there. But and same with you, LUVELLI. If you want us to post anything up with Krista's project or anything, any friends that you are wanting to drive some support to,
there's so many.
Yeah, well, we're gonna keep asking you to show up, bro. This weekly might not be enough. I don't know. Right. Just saying, I'm down for more.
Yeah, there's so many great projects out there right now. And, there's a lot of free mints that are kind of going around, and rug pulls, if people don't know what that means. I'm sure they'll have a dictionary out for you to see what all these Web3
free mints for dummies.
Yeah.
The whole manual.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, the free mints, but there's a lot of one-on-one artists that are just seriously staying around. Now, I saw a lot of them skirt, but a lot of them are staying around, and they have given up their careers in the physical world to just go 100% into this. And this is the time we're needed most, because we got to get them through this.
Yeah, 100%. It's hard when you're one of one. You're not relying on 10,000 or 8,000 or 5,000 and getting that large influx. It's one piece at a time. And I own quite a few one-of-one artist pieces. And you're right, they're making that one piece, and then they're getting it out there and producing it, and then they're on to their next piece, one at a time. It's not
it takes a long time.
It takes a long time. It's not a computer algorithm that they can just punch in something and then print it out and be done. It's a passion. It has to be a passion. And I agree with you 100%. So it'd be amazing to maybe get a one-of-one artist up on our show. That would be really cool.
Totally.
That's me.
Yeah.
You are.
That's true.
Absolutely. So,
but you're also LUVELLI, who doesn't need an introduction. So maybe
I need an introduction to some people that'll go buy my foundation piece.
Yeah, that's true. That's
put
true.
One up there about a year ago, and I just don't promote it. There's one up there,
we will.
So now I'm promoting.
So tell us what your link is. What's your link on Opensea?
Just LUVELLI. On Opensea, those are all sold.
Those are all sold. Okay, but on your website, you have, is it luvelli.com?
Yeah, but I don't know if there's anything in there. Do you guys know if there's anything in there on the website? I don't know anything about this.
All right, well, we'll make sure that we get the information and get a post on this video.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I know I can release this information right now. I wasn't before, but I do have in Dubai, I have a 42-piece exhibition with physical work, and it's being ran by one of my collector's sons, which is really cool. And so after the collection is sold and bidded on and sold, then they have the opportunity to get the NFT. They have 30 days, or otherwise it will go to auction.
Wow,
so
that's cool.
That's something that I'm gonna have. So
really cool.
That's very cool.
I love it.
So it's like a reverse thing. Instead of buying the NFT first and getting the physical piece after, it's the other way around. I like it.
Yeah,
because I know my physical people will buy my work, but they're kind of scared of the NFT space at this point in time. And this is a way to get them
Gives them an entry, right?
They can't say that I didn't either. I said, you have 30 days. You want the NFT? You don't want it?
There it is.
Put it up for auction.
We'll put up for auction on OpenSea, and then you never know where that value is going to go in comparative to the in real life IRL.
I'm very interested in that.
See, that's very cool to see as a social experiment, I guess you could say, to see where how you're evaluating that. Like Violetta said, a lot of times people will do the NFT and then create the art. You're flipping the script, and to now track those, especially if they don't get them together. If they get them together, then hopefully you'll see some parity, right? But if they don't, and you've got two different holders that are holding this, it's more likely that the NFT could be resold and resold, which is going to increase its value. Where a physical art piece is going to hang on a wall, they're not going to sell it. So it'd be interesting to see how that dynamic works. That's cool.
Oh yeah, I want to see, because the NFT space, it's just like an interview. You're going there to be interviewed for something,
right?
But you're also interviewing that person. So the NFT space should equal to what happens in the physical space, or otherwise it's not going to work for some people.
Right. That's cool.
That's so cool. It's going to be awesome that kind of thing. What both of you two are doing is setting precedents for other people. So they don't have to be the pioneer, but they get to actually learn by watching what has worked, what are the things, like what walls have been broken down that they could follow behind. So hats off to both of you. And by hats, I mean, it's weird that V doesn't have a hat on, because look at all of us boys.
Oh my God.
I'm glad you don't, though, just to be honest.
I'll send you one.
Yeah. Oh, I need some LUVELLI swag for sure. But hey, how about this? Let's get some links put up in the description after this. But I don't want to leave people high and dry here. We've had an awesome conversation. I appreciate you both massively, and I'm going to ask that our friend Violetta play us out with another beautiful song. Right. Let us know the title of it, and then we will see you guys on Spaces, because after this, when she's done playing, I'm gonna kill it. So any parting words, you, Gary or LUVELLI?
Go ahead.
Stay in the game. Stay in the game. Buy the tip.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure you're staying active in your communities, everybody. This space is all about community, and none of us will be here without community and those that we've met along the way. So our show is all about highlighting those that we've met along the way and reaching out to those in the future that we have yet to meet. So that's what I got.
Yeah, I do have something to say. A lot of people are in these Twitter spaces, and they're constantly focused on this, and that's great. Give 100% of what you have, but make sure that you're getting outside and getting some air and taking shoes off,
some grass.
Walking the grass.
Yeah.
Breathe.
Grounding yourself, right?
So bad
You have to.
Yep, definitely. Cool.
All right, V. It's all you, my friend.
Me? All right. So thank you once again, guys, for having us, and for everything you all three do for the space. I've learned a lot from each one of you. So thank you. And all right, I'll close you guys out with this song called Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always, also part of my Moonshot collection. Here it is. Dance between the raindrops beneath my red umbrella. Suddenly the band stops. They're singing a cappella, and maybe for a moment you don't cross my mind. I've tried to kick the habit at least 1,000 times. If you ask me, do I miss you? Never, rarely, sometimes, always. Did I shiver when I kissed you? Never, rarely, sometimes, always. The cafe on the corner, I sip a rum and cola. I'm loving happy hour here in Barcelona. And maybe for a moment you might cross my mind. Another rum and cola to love we leave behind. If you ask me, do I miss you? Never, rarely, sometimes, always. Did I shiver when I kissed you? Never, rarely, sometimes, always. Never really, sometimes, never really, sometimes, sometimes, always. When I'm with someone else, I always think of you. I almost screamed your name at least a time or two. I think I'm still in love, but I can't help myself. I'll take it to my grave. No, why I'll never tell. If you ask me, do I miss you? Never, rarely, sometimes, always. Did I shiver when I kissed you? Never, rarely, sometimes, always. Do I wanna be around you? Do I ever dream about you? Am I better off without you? Never, rarely, sometimes, always. Never really, sometimes. Never really, sometimes. Sometimes, always.
That's dope.
Wow.
Thank you,
That is
V. Thank you,
amazing.
LUVELLI.
Thank you
You guys are
That's dope.
awesome. I appreciate you. And everybody else, we will see you next week on Monday at 6 o'clock Central Time. Take care, everybody. Have a good
You
week.
guys. Thank
Bye
you.
Peace.
bye.